Okay, so we're gonna do a brisket today on the Chimp. I'm gonna have this powered by the Yeti 1000. And as you can see, once I push the button, you'll be able to see. It's currently at 100%. No input, no output, so we're fully topped off. And originally I was gonna go ahead and use a solar panel connected to it and basically show how the Yeti can stay fully charged off of either a 100 watt solar panel or the other one's 175 watts. But I figured this would be a better experiment to show how much power is actually used up by the Chimp. So if we do a full, let's say 9-hour cook on this 15-pound brisket, then exactly how much power is that going to consume? And that should give everyone an idea of how long they can actually cook if they decide that they want to get the Yeti 1000, take it, to the beach or out camping, if it could last the entire weekend or not, whether or not you even need to bring a solar panel. But when I opened up my grill, I realized I got some cleaning to do, because anytime you're getting ready to do a long cook, you want to make sure that your grill is clean. It's the right thing to do. So let me clean it. And there we go. Primed and ready. Okay, so now it's showtime. What we're gonna do is simply turn the power on, plug her in. You can automatically see that just by plugging it in, there's some output. So we get the red dot showing. Basically just letting you know that it's powered up. Now inside the hopper, there's a lot of people that argue about briskets when it comes to using what type of wood. You know, is it post oak? Is it hickory? What's best? I say why use or when and is better. So it's a combination of both post oak and hickory. Just keeps life simpler. You know what I need to do? I'm gonna fill it up all the way so we can also measure how much it actually takes to do a cook on a brisket. Give me 1 sec. Okay, now we are full. So starting off with a full hopper. We've got everything clean and ready to go. The meat's sitting out on the counter, trying to come up to room temperature before I start adding a little bit more seasoning. And so with this guy, if you notice, there's 2 modes. One is like your standard cook. This basically maintains a constant temperature. 2 gives you that extra smoke. Well, since we're doing a brisket, I think you know what we're gonna do. So the first thing I'm gonna do is turn this bad boy on. We'll leave it open until I start seeing some smoke going through, and I wanna hear pellets dropping. I heard some clanks. Okay, so we're good there. So I'm gonna change the mode by holding the mode button down until the red dot goes over to the mode 2. And we're gonna set our temperature low and slow, 225. Now, while we're doing this, let's take a look at energy consumption. See, we're already at 236 watts. You know, it has to power up, so it always draws more energy while it's powering up. But soon afterwards, once it reaches temp, it'll drop down to about 25 watts, which I'll show you what that'll look like. But basically, it'll allow you to cook all day. So, right now we're on a warm-up cycle, just waiting for some smoke to start pouring out. I'll tell you what, while we do this, let me tell you about some other things. One of the things I wish they did have was a small stainless steel cup that we could use here. Instead, I just get an old coffee cup that I might have had, you know, the day before or something, and stick that bad boy in there. When I'm done, put it in a plastic bag, throw it in the trash. Keeps life simple. The other thing, when it comes to the Chimp, that would have been nice, is if there was a way of like an exit spout or something towards the bottom. So when you're wanting to change woods or wood pellets, you know, if there was a little slot or something you can undo and just have all the pellets come out, that would have made life a lot easier. Instead, you have to get a cup or do it by hand and pour it out. So what I've done, yep, starting to see the smoke coming. You might not be able to, but I can. So once that happens, we're gonna just close this bad boy and let her do her thing. But one of the things that I did is I bought these containers off of, well, where else does everybody shop? Amazon. And just stuck some labels on there to help me keep track of what's what and where it's at. So it makes life a lot easier. I should be able to see that smoke coming out now. There we go. So while this is coming up to temp, I'm gonna go inside and get the rest of the meat ready and put this bad boy on. So, isn't that pretty how it comes out the side? It smells good too. Okay, I'm back. So the brisket is now on, but before we go to it, I want to just show power consumption. So for the Yeti, we're at 46 watts. Estimated time remaining, 20 hours. So you can see we could pretty much go all day, but we'll see for sure. Now the reason why I believe it's showing 46 watts, it's still coming back up to temp. Once I put the brisket on, it's gonna take it a moment to get back to temperature, which is set at 225. But as it draws nearer, well, now that it's there, you'll see energy consumption back down to 23 watts. And of course, the estimated time before the Yeti runs out is increased to almost 34 hours now. So yeah, and this again was without having a solar panel attached. So if you have 23 watts coming in, or 23 watts being used on a 100 watt solar panel, you can average about 50 to 60 watts, which means you're actually gonna gain power while cooking, which I think is awesome. Now, as far as the brisket, this is a 15-pound brisket. Once I chopped it up, you know, it was about 2 pounds of fat that was taken off. But you can see a 15-pound brisket sits nice and snug right inside. I always put the point side towards where some of the heating elements are, you know, because it's a thicker area. And then I'm gonna stick some probes in it. First 3 to 4 hours, there's no reason to even worry about probes or anything, because you're just getting a nice smoke and bark on it. Afterwards, I'll throw the probes on and do the temp. So, okay, won't be seeing her again till around 1 o'clock. Do your thing, boy. Okay, we are back once again. It's been 3 hours. Looks like the temperature's gone up for some reason. I don't know if you can see that. There we go. I guess, well, Texas has fun weather days, so this morning it was in the 50s and now it's already 88, 89 degrees. So gotta love it. So within that 3 hours, we're at 87%. Let's see how we're looking over here. Still looking pretty good on the hopper. Don't know why this thing isn't staying in focus, but I think that works. Plenty of pellets on that guy. And let's see how we're doing on meat. So usually I would have a little spray bottle, but it decided not to work, so I had to use this instead. You know, Semper Gumby. Always got to react to things, but it's developing that nice bark that we all know and love. And this will keep it nice and juicy. Make sure not to move too much of the seasoning. And one thing I really love about the Chimp and pellet grills, period, you know, it's indirect heat. So you don't have to worry about doing anything. It's just a matter of setting a timer so you remember to come back. But aside from that, no flare-ups, no nothing. Yeah, I think we're good on that. So I'll be back to check on them later. We'll advise. Okay, so I used a meat probe to see what the temperature was at. Temperature was between 145 on the point side and 155 on the flat side. So I went ahead and wrapped it in some butcher's paper. This particular time, putting the fat side up. So we've seen before the way it looked when I put it in. Fat side was down just so we could develop a nice bark on the top. But now once I wrap it, I'll put the fat side up so that all that deliciousness can melt down into the meat. getting it on and off, you know, I have my gloves, pan, and I just use these guys once again as a quick little table, makeshift table to make it happen real quick. So now what I'm gonna do is get this meat probe, the wireless meter. Love this thing. You can't see it, but it looks like everything's flickering. But you've got 4 digits with check marks on it, basically saying it's synced up to these meat probes. I'm only going to use 2 to put in there, and that way I don't have to keep coming out. I'll know when the temperature reaches its desired point, which I'm shooting for 195 degrees, which once it's resting, it should give me everything I need. It's pretty bright out right now. It's 95 degrees. So you can still see, even though the meter probe's plugged in along with the Chimp, we're at 78%, using, what is that, about 25 watts. So not much electricity going out of that. Let's take a look and see where we're at. Made a bit of a dent, so I'll spread that out a little bit. So we're at the 6-hour mark right now. That's how many pellets have been used in the 6-hour time period. And like I said, we're at about 78% on the Yeti. As far as the liquids that's in the cup, that's the majority is the apple juice water combination. Just, you know, a little bit of flavor, but mainly to keep it moist. And so, like I said, I'm about to put these guys in, and hopefully next time I take it back off, it'll be at 195 internal temperature, and then I'll let it rest for 1 to 2 hours and cut it up. So see you soon. Okay, so now we're ending the cook. Power consumption on the Yeti, we are at 61%. Basically, we're looking at about 11 and a half hours of total cook time. Put the brisket on at 10, so I guess if you count the startup, we're probably looking at 11 hours and 45 minutes or so. This is how much we've lost in the hopper. So not bad for almost 12 hours. And going to meat. This is where we're at. We're now at an internal temperature of 199, so it's time to take it off. And I've got it all set up right there. So